It is 11:30 at night in Arkansas. The state has been racing the clock all month, not because new evidence is surfacing, not because a victim's family demanded urgency, but because a batch of drugs is about to expire. At 11:44 p.m. on April 20th, 2017, Ledell Lee receives a lethal injection. He maintains his innocence until the end. 4 years later, scientists will test the murder weapon, and the DNA on it will not be his. February the 9th, 1993. Jacksonville, Arkansas, a small military town just northeast of Little Rock. Deborah Reese is 26 years old, a wife, a neighbor people describe as kind and quiet. She is found dead in her home, beaten with extreme violence. The murder weapon is believed to be a tire thumper, a heavy wooden club truckers use. Investigators find it near her body. They find a hair on the scene. They find witnesses who say they saw a man in the neighborhood that morning. Suspicion falls quickly on Ledell Lee, a 31-year-old man who lives nearby. And from that moment, the machinery of the state begins to move in only one direction. Lee is arrested and charged with capital murder. At trial, the prosecution builds its case on the eyewitness testimony, placing Lee near the Reese home around the time of the murder. They present circumstantial evidence. What they do not present is any forensic DNA analysis linking Ledell Lee to the murder weapons or the crime scene. The technology exists. It is 1993, and day testing is already being used in courtrooms across the country, but it is not performed. Not on the tire thumper, not on the hair recovered at the scene, not on anything. The jury convicts Lee. The judge sentences him to death. He is sent to Arkansas's death row, where he will sit for more than 2 decades. During those 22 years, Lee's attorneys fight. They file motion after motion, requesting DNA testing of the physical evidence. They argue that modern forensic science could prove what eyewitness testimony alone could not, that their client was or was not at that crime scene. Each time, the request is denied. The courts rule the existing evidence is sufficient. The conviction stands. Lee continues to insist he did not kill Deborah Reese. And the tire thumper, the actual weapon that ended a woman's life, sits untested in an evidence locker. Then comes 2017. Arkansas holds a stockpile of midazolam, one of the 3 drugs used in its lethal injection protocol. The drug carries an expiration date, and that expiration date becomes the most important deadline in the state's criminal justice system. Governor Asa Hutchinson announces an unprecedented plan. Arkansas will execute 8 men in 11 days, 8 human beings scheduled to die on a timetable dictated not by the demands of justice, but by the shelf life of a sedative. The announcement sends shockwaves across the country. Legal scholars call it grotesque. Activists descend on the state. Courts are flooded with emergency appeals. Some executions are stayed, but not all of them. Ledell Lee's attorneys make one final, desperate push. They ask the courts again for DNA testing. They argue it can be done quickly. They argue that if Lee is innocent, the state is about to commit an irreversible act. The Arkansas Supreme Court denies the request in a 4-3 decision. The United States Supreme Court declines to intervene. On the night of April 20th, 2017, with the midazolam expiration date looming, the state of Arkansas executes Ledell Lee. He is the first person Arkansas has executed in 12 years. But the evidence does not disappear. In 2021, the Innocence Project and the American Civil Liberties Union succeed where Lee's lawyers could not. They obtain a court order for DNA testing of the murder weapon and the hair found at the crime scene. The results come back. The DNA on the tire thumper does not match Ledell Lee. The hair does not belong to Ledell Lee. Both samples match the same unidentified male, a man whose profile is not in any criminal database, a man who has never been publicly named, a man who is not Ledell Lee. The state of Arkansas has offered no official response to these findings. No investigation has been opened into the unidentified male. No review of the case